Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. It is Friday, March 24th. It's 5:24 p.m. in lovely San Ramon, California. Okay, looking at the news, trying to figure out what I want to do readings on. We'll start tonight with a lighter reading. I'll put that in air quotes because it depends on your opinion. Okay, so this is about the Gwyneth Paltrow trial. Lighter only because it's not political. It's not putting our democracy, and this is not to underplay the injuries that Terry Sanderson suffered, and the impact that had on his family, as well as Gwyneth Paltrow's family. So, just a couple questions. One, Gwyneth Paltrow testified today, and I want to find out, was she being honest and forthright in her testimony? So let's go ahead and, I'll just do a quick little four-carder on that. Okay, so we have nightmares. So that doesn't mean it's no, she wasn't being honest. I think this is just telling me that this has been causing her a lot of stress. I imagine as a very well-known and popular actress, this is just bringing a lot of attention that she just doesn't want to have. And I believe that even what little bits I know of it, she wants this thing to be over already. She's got her life and she doesn't want to deal with this. Okay. I'm just checking the bottom of the deck, which is the Six of Cups, which is nostalgia. She wants to go back to the way life was, being a mom, doing all the things. This is not what she wants to deal with. We got the Magician. That can be, illusions. It can be manifestations of things. I'm going to be kind of curious to see what the middle cards are. We've got agreements. And then lastly, a lot of twos. Interesting. Two of coins. And then again, nostalgia card. So I think it's, again, a bit of a nightmare. She would rather be doing things she enjoys doing. Again, I believe she's been skiing since she was 3 or something like that. So, this could represent, back in the day when she was young and had no cares in the world. But I think generally speaking, she liked her life the way it was before this accident happened. Underneath, the central card underneath is the Two of Cups. It's about the relationship between these two people, the lawyers. It's just two people coming together. And I guess, in this instance, we could call it a spiritual meeting. So there's probably a spiritual reason for this. We can throw cards on that one later. But that's what they're dealing with right now. And on one hand, I think we could look at this as on the lower energy is the illusion card, and this could be referring to the brain damage that was suffered by Terry Sanderson. Apparently, he had a concussion, and he has had mental deterioration of his mental faculties since then, and some personality changes. So that could also be what happened. That could be what happened or represents this card. This card could also represent that opportunity for this could be a way for her to tell people what happened. I don't want to say opportunistic, but the way the opening arguments went, and I watched a little bit of those on the Emily D. Baker show. They all knew who she was, and I can imagine that you're on the bunny slopes or the beginner slopes and you see Gwyneth Paltrow, people recognize her pretty quick. And I'm sure everybody in that hill knew that Gwyneth Paltrow was on the hill. So that's just saying. And then we've got the two of coins, which is, trying to manipulate things, trying to keep the story straight or keep the facts straight, or, juggling, the things that have got going on. Has she been honest and forthright? This isn't answering that question for me. This is telling me her state of mind. Her state of mind. Maybe they offered to settle, and it's possible they offered to settle and they didn't want to settle. Her countersuit. It's probably about countersuits. Okay. This is more about countersuits. I'm sorry. Let's go back. I'm just as an aside, this is how I do readings. It's kind of, I'm blathering things, and then all of a sudden something kind of clicks. It's like, these are the two suits. you got a small amount and a large amount. He's suing for, originally was suing for $3 million. I think he had to reduce it to 300,000. She's suing for $1. She just wants her reputation cleared. He wants, his team is looking for compensation for the injuries that he suffered. Yeah, so this does not answer to me what her if she was honest or truthful. This is what this is telling me, is that this has been a nightmare for her. Okay. So maybe we'll have to take a step back. And it might also just be telling me that her responses, whether truthful or not, are not relevant. It's and that sounds kind of weird thing to say, they're not relevant, but that there's a bigger picture here, and things are going to get resolved with this. Okay, so when this trial was over and done with, will Terry Sanderson and his family and his lawyers be pleased with the outcome? So a quick little four-quarter on that. We'll find out. Well, something's happening fast here. The devil, disappointment. He may win, but he may not win the full amount, or he may not win at all. And then the Four of Swords. And then holding on. So I think that for him, the changes to his life happen quickly, and he wants his old life back. And, this is kind of like wanting that old life back, kind of like the Six of Cups. But this is also trying to hold on to what faculties that you have. But now we've got the Devil card and the Five of Cups. So this is just telling me that he's disappointed with the outcome. All right. Maybe they made their points. Maybe they get a small settlement. But if they get a settlement, it's not what they're looking for. This could be the judicial system, the way the judicial system is set up, that he can't get the full compensation that he wants, or the way the laws are written. He's not allowed to get what he wants. And this could be the concussion that's chaining him into, his body doesn't work as well, so he's kind of stuck in it. And then we got the Four of Swords. It's kind of a meditation, retreating. My guess is this case ends quickly. The jury decides quickly. He's not happy with the result on that one, and maybe he feels her celebrity got her out of it. He's suing the wrong person, and he'll go on his way, and try to live out his life as best he can. Okay, so that's kind of what they're getting there. When I was throwing that first reading with the Two of Cups and the Two of Coins, that sounded like a settlement. It sounded like they were trying to have a settlement, and he wasn't happy with the settlement, or she wasn't happy with the settlement. But it sounds like maybe they tried to work it out. Shuffle the cards up a little bit here. How is Gwyneth Paltrow and her team and family going to feel after this case is done? How's Paltrow and her family going to feel after this case is done? So is there anything that... Yeah, that felt pretty good. Let's see. Chariot, life moves on. Moving on. World... The fighting, the bickering, the arguing, and kind of the relief. And going on with a new action, new message. So for her, this basically, they're moving on with their life. If there is a partial settlement, she pays and goes. There's going to be a lot of turmoil. There's been a lot of turmoil around this. And she doesn't want any part of it. This is not the jam that she wants. She wants to be at peace doing her thing. And, this has been put on the stage for the whole world to see. And everything I'm getting from her is that she's kind of a private person. And, this has been wearing on her. She's she's relieved it's over, and I'm sure, I mean, he maybe if he's going to appeal, and then she knows she might have another battle with this one, but she wants to move on and do the things in her life. So I get a lot of moving on cards with her. It leads me to believe that if he gets a win, it's a partial win. It's not everything that he wants, and then he's going to want more, and she just wants to move on. There were reading some of the comments and things like that about the Gwyneth Paltrow trial, and people reading her body language, and the opening arguments was that she was just screaming at this guy after she ran into him, and then hearing her base stories basically saying he ran into her. You know, somebody's got to be right and somebody's got to be wrong on this one. But I mean, I can appreciate her point. She's an attractive woman, she's a well-known woman, and if somebody ran into her, you know, it's just, there's no privacy as to begin with. You know, that's part of the punishment for fame, or the downside of fame. You've lost all your privacy, and now somebody's crashed into her, and you don't know what kind of person this is, if they're a creeper stalker or some perv or just an accident. And I could see her being really upset really quickly because she's going to be triggered by stuff like that. She just doesn't have the privacy. And if she ran into, it just doesn't make, the way the descriptions, I tend to believe her more than I believe his story, and that's doesn't seem fair. I haven't really watched the trial, but it's just kind of my gut. I don't think that I don't know. My gut tells me that she probably is in the right on this one. But what do I want to ask? What's the message? What's the spiritual message with this? What or maybe the better thing is what can you share with me, my viewers and myself, regarding this overall incident? I'll do a 6-carder on that one. Let's see. Got the world card came up, and the strength card. Okay, so it's again, the world is watching, and it's a portrayal of strength of character. Probably hers. I'm gonna assume this is basically for her, right? I mean, no offense to Terry Sanderson, but nobody knows who he is. And after this is done, nobody's going to remember who he was. This isn't like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. People know who Gwyneth Paltrow is, but they don't know who Johnny Depp is. So this, in some ways, is a test of her strength. A test of her strength while the whole world is watching. Does she hold it together? Does she break down? How strong of a person is she? You know, and if she was wrong in this situation, how does she handle that? Okay, so in the past we have the Knight of Pentacles. You know, it's going forward with money, or this could be body in a way. You know, I know that she does some interesting things. What one way to put it, of for keeping her health, but this could also be the accident. You know, they're moving together and then bodies collide. Let's throw it at that one and see what happens with it. Now, Queen of Swords. Now we've got harsh judgment coming in here. She's before the courts. She's before lawyers. She's before the court of public opinion, and the courts are certainly going to make a very black and white judgment. And it might also be that she has to be somewhat, not ruthless, that may not be the right word, but somewhat unaffected by emotional decisions in this one. This is just an intellectual decision. She's got to defend herself. She just does. She may not want to. She just wants to go live her life. But this is just something she's got to fight. She's not going to settle on this one because of what might happen. That tells me right there, she thinks she's in the right on this one. And she would not think she's right if she went plowing into somebody. If somebody plowed into her and then turned around and sued her, this is the card you would expect to have happen. Because she was probably told, hey, just pay the guy, just go on with your life, don't worry about it. But that's not who it is. She's now, She's now showing her strength as a person and as a woman because the world is watching. I think that's what's happening. I'm more and more convinced that she's okay. She's the one in the right on this one. Okay, Hermit, you know, it's going to be revealed. Overall, we're illuminating the whole situation. And people will kind of see Gwyneth Paltrow in a different light. Empress, okay. It's also, you know, she's a mom. She's taking care of herself. That's the lesson to be learned, is that, you know, there's multiple facets for taking care of yourself and providing. Actually kind of looks like her too, huh? You know, you've got mind, heart, body, finances. You have to care for yourself in all manners, shapes, forms in your life. And that's the lesson that she's supposed to learn from this. It's not only just about what you eat. It's about being, you know, financially savvy. It's about being compassionate. And it's also about standing up for your truth when it's time for your truth to be stood up for. Her life would have been a lot easier, Six of Cups, to go running off and just pay the guy, you know, $300,000. Say, get out of here. I don't know. Ace of Swords. Truth's coming out. Outcome. Sort of justice. Truth. Basically, I think what's going to happen is whatever the verdict is on this one, believe it. There's nothing in here that tells me that we're going to get an incorrect verdict on this. And again, maybe he gets some money out of this, but he's not going to get everything he's after. And I think she's going to feel vindicated. She stood up for herself, and I think she's going to feel vindicated. And underneath, winner takes all. Narcissism, winner takes all. I think in this case, it's, I think she wins. I think she wins, and she wins her dollar. She won't keep the dollar. Well, maybe she will. Maybe frame it or something like that, but or donate to charity or something. I think she wins this one. And yeah. That's an interesting read. Now, if she doesn't win, reverse it. Just replace Mr. Sanderson with this one. It's an interesting case. Wasn't sure how this reading was going to come out, and I'm kind of stammering through this. But yeah, I think in the end of the day, this was a test for her, a test of her strength, a test of her decision making, and if she's going to stand up for herself. It's all too easy to settle, even though if you're right. Okay, so that's my take on the Gwyneth Paltrow Terry Sanderson ski collusion court case. We'll find out next week or in the next couple weeks if I correctly interpreted the cards on this one. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like it, share it, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great night. Bye-bye.